Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. Hope you guys are having a great night so far and you're doing good. What I wanted to do in today's video was react to this Athletic article that says the Pistons have cap space, why the Knicks, Lakers, and Bucks could be trade partners. Now, this was written by our friend over at the Athletic, James Edwards III, who's been on this podcast multiple times. I think we had him on last week, if I do remember. I just don't remember which day it was. We had him on before free agency started, and we kind of talked about, possible free agent targets. If you guys want to go check that out, definitely go check it out. It should be under our live streams, and if you just don't want to, deal with the YouTube ads, 100% understand. Our podcast is on all audio platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you guys get your podcast. So the podcast should be up over there if you want to listen to James talk about free agency and Tim Hardaway Jr. and the JB Bickerstaff hiring. So if you guys want to check that podcast out. But what we're doing today is this article. Now, I'm not going to rip off James's article because this is a subscription-based article. What I'm going to do is throw in the trade proposals he had made over into fanspo.com, and then we can kind of react to the trades that he had proposed in his article. And I know you guys are going to be very vocal about it. I'm going to give you guys my just straight up opinion with all of these trades and if I think they would be good moves for your Detroit Pistons. So let's get straight into it, you guys. All right, why you guys are here, the trades. Let's get into these trades, you guys, because this is going to be a really fun conversation. I can't wait. So the first trade that we have is with the New York Knicks. And let's break this down for you guys. So the Pistons would be sending Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren in exchange for Mitchell Robinson, Miles McBride, and their first round pick back in 2025. So let's start with the pick. So the pick is a 2025 first rounder via Detroit. Why does it say via Detroit? Well, that's actually our pick. This is the pick from the Isaiah Stewart trade that has lottery protections on it that the Pistons are still paying for. Now, it's top 13 protected in this upcoming year in 2025, so if the Pistons have another dookie season, they're going to keep their draft pick, and the Knicks don't get it. Now, if the Pistons win 40, 45 games, then the Knicks get it. So, most likely the Pistons are going to be able to keep their 2025 pick in a very good upcoming draft. So, there's that. Now, Miles McBride is on a very cheap deal. 3 years, $4.7 million. Very good player, and he's a player that I think a lot of Knicks fans like, and I know Tom Thibodeau absolutely loves this kid. Can play him high 40s, and he just does not wear out. I like him as a player. I do. But again, when I'm looking at this trade, and I'm going to get to it in a minute, I just don't like it. Now, with Mitchell Robinson, now this is a guy that I think Pistons fans are going to like. He's a rim-running, shot-blocking center. He's on a 2-year, $14.3 million deal, according to Fanspo. The thing with Mitchell Robinson that I have trouble with is health. It's not that he's a bad player. With Mitch, it's always been about staying healthy, and he just has not done that throughout his NBA career. And me being a Pistons fan, and you guys watching this being Pistons fans, or just NBA fans in general, the Detroit Pistons have had such a dark cloud over the organization in terms of handling injuries. Seems like every year we sign a guy or we trade for a guy, and all of a sudden they come up with all these like random weird injuries and they're out for multiple weeks. I would be very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'd be very skeptical to try to trade for a guy in Mitchell Robinson expecting him to play a full 82 games. Because I don't think that's even doable for him. Maybe he gives you a full 65. I think that would be a stretch for him, especially in Detroit. Good player. But when I look at Jaden Ivey and I look at Jalen Duren and I look at this type of trade, yes, the draft pick is enticing, getting our pick back. where so we can make, possible potential trades and moves for, maybe guys that you guys want, like Brandon Ingram, for example, right? I think it would be really premature to trade a Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren this early in their careers. Jalen Duren just turned 20 this year. He's going into his third season. Now, did he have ups and downs this season? Absolutely. I think defensively, he just wasn't as locked in on the offensive end. And, maybe that was, exertion on the offensive end where he just really couldn't, put 100% of his energy on defensive end. Maybe it was ankle injuries. I don't know. Jaden Ivey, you guys know I've been a huge Jaden Ivey fan. I think his biggest thing right now is his consistency in finding a role that suits him and having more stability, a stable role, if you will, with the Pistons. And I think last year was a really unstable role, going from being a off the bench, combo guard to being inserted into the starting lineup because your boss told you to do so, and then getting really inconsistent minutes. 1 minute he's playing high 30s, within the same week he's playing less than 10, 15 minutes. So I think if I'm a Pistons fan watching this, not too happy with trading two guys that I think a lot of the core fan base believes that can be cornerstones to turn this around. So this first trade, not really a fan of it. I'd probably give it like a C plus grade. So let's go over to the next trade proposal that James did have in his article. So the second trade we have is a Pistons-Lakers trade. So let's break this down. I'll try to make sense of it because you're probably looking at it saying Gabe Vincent and a first to Detroit for a second-round pick. Why would the Lakers do that, Anthony? So if you look at LeBron, you look at the Lakers, you look at their roster, I would say they missed out on Klay Thompson, even though they did offer him money. They missed out on some free agents that they probably could have gotten. And they really haven't made any type of big moves. Because when you think of LA, you think of all the stars going to Los Angeles. And they really haven't done that. And one free agent that has been linked to LA has been DeMar DeRozan. Now, DeMar DeRozan said he was going to re-sign with Chicago, but obviously a lot of things have changed, and he's looking to sign with a contender. There's been reports of Miami and LA. Now, a move like this would actually allow the Lakers to do that, but the Pistons in this situation would be taking on Gabe Vincent's contract, 2 years, $11 million in total, and they would be getting a 2026 first from the Lakers. Okay? Now, why I think that this would be a good move for Detroit is, one, you never know what's going to happen in LA. You never know if JJ Redick is going to come out being like a Pat Riley as a coach or a Steven Silas. We're going to have to wait and see how he does as a coach. So that 2026 first could actually be very enticing. And Gabe Vincent, for what it's worth, could be a backup point guard on your squad. So you would just be taking on $11 million worth of salary. You have $26 million in projected cap space to absorb bad contracts like this, but you're also getting a first-round pick as an asset, and the Lakers would get one of your seconds that you have. You just acquired 3 seconds from the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade, so I just threw whatever second that Fanspo did have. But I think a trade like this is a very strong possibility for the Detroit Pistons to absorb a contract and get a draft pick as an asset to even consider helping out another team. But let's move on to the third trade in this article. All right, the third and final trade. So let's get into it, you guys. The Pistons would be trading with the Milwaukee Bucks, a Central Division rival. They would be sending Jalen Duren in exchange for Brook Lopez and a 2031 first via Milwaukee. So when I'm looking at this, it's kind of similar to the first trade with the Knicks. I hold Jalen Duren in high regard. Same with Ivy. I would hate to see Jalen Duren 4 times a year with Damian Lillard and Giannis just yamming on her head. I really would. Because I think Milwaukee has very good development over there. I think they would spend time with Duren. They would nurture him into becoming the type of player that I think most of us see that he could possibly be potentially. So right off the bat, I'm not really feeling this trade. No, I like Brook Lopez. I do. He's got $23 million left on a 1-year deal. He's a stretch big, if you will, a stretch 5. Had a season, I'd say the past 2 seasons, you've seen him, protect the paint. I think he's a pretty underrated center in today's game. He doesn't really get talked about too much. Really like his game. I do. I think he would pair nicely with Cade. The 2031 first, and we're in 2024 as I'm recording this, that 2031 first might be like top 5, because who knows where Milwaukee will be in 2031. Milwaukee might be going through a rebuild at that time. Like, they really could. You never really know. But as a Piston fan, I'm not really feeling this trade. I'd rather hold on to Duren. I'd rather not have a 1-year rental of a Brook Lopez. And even though a 2031 first from Milwaukee's probably going to be really good, I think the Pistons would be better off just kind of holding tight onto Duren. I would probably give this trade like a C-. I didn't give a trade grade with the Gabe Vincent. I would probably give that like a B, because you're not really attaching any like assets like a Duren or an Ivy. You were just giving up a second in that instance. But getting back to this trade, I'm not really a fan of it. I see what James is trying to do in terms of like taking on these big contracts that are like a year or 2, and trying to get assets back for the Pistons. But I think with Duren, it's just way too early to have these conversations of trying to lure him in these trades to move on from him. Did he have a bad season last year defensively? Absolutely. Is he still young? Yes. Can he improve? Probably. I personally think all 3 of these trades, they could possibly happen, but they also couldn't. But I like doing this video for you guys. I like where James's head is at in terms of, absorbing bigger contracts for possible draft capital, possible, guys like a Brook Lopez, guys like a Mitchell Robinson, Miles McBride, Gabe Vincent. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section of these trades that James did propose. Are you a fan of these trades? Are you not? What type of contracts are you looking for the Detroit Pistons to absorb with the remaining $26 million in cap space? I will talk to you guys down below in the comment section. Like always, hope you guys are staying safe. Take care, and hope you guys have an awesome 4th of July. Peace.